Welcome back to the channel, my fellow Days of Our Lives addicts. Dual spoilers are screaming that Chad and Belle are going to score a massive, game-changing victory right before they head off to Italy. And let me tell you, Leo Stark and Commissioner Rafe Hernandez are going to be incredibly grateful for what they uncover. What exactly is this massive breakthrough? How do Chad and Belle crack the kidnapping case of the summer? Well, grab your coffee, sit back, and let's find out exactly how this wild ride is going to play out. Let's be real for a second. Chad DiMera and Belle Black already have their hands completely full. They are currently neck deep in the psychological torture chamber that is Stefano DiMera's final game. With that cryptic missing chess pawn and the hidden key, Chad and Belle are literally packing their bags to head to Italy to retrace Stefano's dark history. They are ready to board the DiMera corporate jet and leave the Salem chaos behind them. But here's the kicker. Just as they are preparing to leave, a completely frantic and desperate Leo Stark crashes into their orbit, and he is about to derail their itinerary in the best way possible. Leo is an absolute mess right now, and honestly, I actually feel terrible for him. Can you believe it? I am actually defending Leo Stark. But his friendship with Gwen Rizczech is his one genuinely redeeming quality. Gwen has been missing since mid-July after being snatched by a masked man, and while the rest of the town might not be losing sleep over the resident bad girl, Leo is terrified. He is convinced that Dimitri von Leuschner is the man behind the mask. And let's look at the history there. Dimitri has a massive track record of manipulation, kidnapping, and treating people like disposable pawns. Leo knows this firsthand. So, in a moment of pure desperation, Leo actually reached out and texted Dimitri, demanding to know where Gwen is. And you won't believe what happens next. Dimitri actually texts him back. This week, Chad asks Leo why he is so stubbornly fixated on the idea that Dimitri dragged Gwen off to Alamania. That is when Leo pulls out his phone and shows Chad the exact text message reply he received from the Alamanian prince. Now, we don't know the exact wording of this text yet, but knowing Dimitri, it is dripping with arrogance, misdirection, and cryptic superiority. Leo reads it and immediately assumes it is a taunt, confirming that Gwen is locked up in some freezing Alamanian dungeon. Leo is packing his bags, ready to fly to Europe, and practically begging to hitch a ride on Chad and Belle's jet. But Chad DiMera is not just a pretty face, he is a DiMera. When Chad looks at that text message, his razor-sharp instincts immediately kick in. Chad grew up surviving the psychological warfare of Stefano, EJ, and Kristen. He knows exactly how a master manipulator structures a lie. I think this is where we are going to see Chad completely shine. He is going to read Dimitri's text and realize that the phrasing is all wrong for an Alamanian kidnapping. Dimitri's ego is massive, but he isn't sloppy. Chad is going to analyze the syntax, the timing, and the subtle deflections in that message, and he is going to have a massive epiphany. Chad realizes that Dimitri is playing them. Dimitri didn't take Gwen to Alamania. He is intentionally pointing them in the wrong direction to cover for someone else. And who else would Dimitri cover for? The DiMeras. Chad's brain starts connecting the dots, and he realizes this kidnapping has all the classic hallmarks of a DiMera Island operation. That's crazy! Think about it. The masked henchman, the sudden disappearance, the complete lack of a ransom demand. This isn't a political Alamanian hostage situation. This is a DiMera family vendetta. Chad looks at Leo and basically says, "She isn't in Alamania, Leo. She's on the island This is where the historical lore of the show makes this storyline so incredibly satisfying. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Years ago, Kristen DiMera kidnapped Sarah Horton, shoved her in a trunk, and dumped her on that exact same DiMera Island to keep her away from Xander. And who was Kristen's willing co-conspirator in that sick little game? Gwen Rizczech. Gwen literally helped keep Sarah trapped there so she could have Xander all to herself. A lot of fans think Gwen has suffered enough, but I actually think this is the ultimate poetic karmic justice. Gwen is now facing the exact same terrifying isolation that she forced upon Sarah. Chad knows this family playbook inside and out, and he is the only one who could have recognized the pattern. Amazing. Once Chad figures this out, he doesn't just sit on the information. He immediately takes this massive breakthrough straight to Commissioner Rafe Hernandez. And let me tell you, Rafe desperately needs a win right now. The poor guy is drowning. He is trying to manage the federal ISA investigation into EJ's tainted Coruscant drugs. He is dealing with Kat Green's dangerous undercover games, and his own sister Gabby is blowing up her life over at Titan. Rafe is stretched so incredibly thin that the Salem PD is practically running on fumes. When Chad walks into the station and hands Rafe the exact location of a missing person, Rafe is going to be overwhelmingly grateful. Chad basically just handed him the entire case on a silver platter. But we absolutely cannot forget about Belle's contribution to this massive victory. Belle is not just standing by watching Chad play detective. She is John Black's daughter, and she has inherited his brilliant strategic mind. While Chad decodes the DiMera psychology, Belle is going to look at this from a legal and tactical standpoint. DiMera Island is a sovereign nightmare. You can't just send a Salem PD cruiser over there. Belle is going to use her extensive legal background to help Rafe navigate the international jurisdiction loopholes required to authorize a raid on that island. She is going to channel her inner ISA agent, making her father so incredibly proud. I absolutely love seeing Belle in this proactive powerhouse role instead of just crying over her exes. This entire sequence of events is going to completely shift the dynamic of the summer. By decoding Dimitri's text and pointing Rafe toward DiMera Island, Chad and Belle have essentially saved Gwen's life before they even pack their bags for Italy. And the irony is just delicious. Kristen DiMera is about to be kidnapped by a masked man herself and sent to that very same island. Imagine the sheer chaos when the Salem PD finally breaches DiMera Island, expecting to find Gwen, and they stumble upon both Gwen and Kristen trapped together in the ultimate karma prison. It is going to be absolute television gold. As for Leo, his gratitude toward Chad and Belle is going to be off the charts. He was ready to fly blindly into Alamania and probably get himself killed by Dimitri's guards. Chad saving him from that massive mistake is going to forge a really interesting new bond between them. I wouldn't be surprised if Leo still insists on tagging along on the DiMera corporate jet. Just imagine the comedic gold of Chad and Belle trying to have a romantic, mysterious Italian adventure, while Leo Stark is sitting in the back of the plane, sipping champagne and gossiping about the flight attendants. It is the perfect blend of high-stakes drama and classic soap opera camp. I am just so incredibly hyped for this storyline. The writers are finally utilizing Chad's intelligence and his deep understanding of his family's dark history. He isn't just reacting to the villains anymore, he is outsmarting them. And having Belle by his side, using her legal brilliance to back up his theories, makes them an absolute super couple in the making. They are solving crimes, taking names, and looking fabulous doing it. So, what do you guys think? Are you as thrilled as I am that Chad is the one to finally crack the Gwen kidnapping case? Do you think Gwen actually deserves to be locked up on DiMera Island for a little while as payback for what she did to Sarah? And please, tell me you want to see Leo Stark third-wheeling Chad and Belle in Italy as much as I do. Drop all of your hottest takes and wild theories down in the comments below because I love reading what you guys come up with. Make sure you keep your eyes glued to the screen this week because Chad DiMera is about to drop a masterclass in detective work. I will catch you all in the next update.